Wouldn't it be awesome to bring capabilities that are known in static site generators also to our front-end systems? Like for instance a standard React project? My name is Frontend, and in this video I'm going to show you how we can add a simple blog post integration capability into the React boilerplate that we created last time. So let's get started. I just add two more dependencies. One is a parcel plugin called Codegen, and the other one are the type definitions for Node. Now, while this is installing, let's have a look at our system. What we should do is we should bring in a simple way to actually see all the blog posts that we wrote. How it should look like in the end is that we just get a list of all the blog posts that then refers to them, like hello world kind of blog post here, and the same holds true for our routes, right? So we have a blog, hello world, and we need then a hello world component. Now where should this hello world component come from? Let's just say we create a folder called posts. Let's do that. And in this posts, we create a hello world.tsx file. Now all we need to do is introduce a React. We should export a default component that actually does all the things. So for instance, has an h1 hello world, and it has some paragraphs too. Okay. So that would be this one. Now great. Let's try to run this and see if that works. Oh, may now take a couple of seconds. But in the end, what we'll get is our site extended by the hello world. Can go in there, great. Now the problem with this approach is obviously that for any blog post that we write using React, we would also need to make changes to our router and to our menu, and that's not really good, right? Also, at this point in time, our component that defines this blog post page is always integrated in the main module. That's not great, right? There's already a better way. Let's make this a const, and let's use React lazy together with an import. Great. Now, not much has changed. This thing should still just work. There's one thing why it doesn't work, and that's we're missing the React suspense, but that's added in a second using also some fallback loading, let's say, and shroopsie-doopsie, we are done. And now this also works. Great, good, but we're not ready yet. Still, the one problem prevails. We need to make modifications to two files. One is the file we create, the blog post, and the other file is the file containing now all these components. And that's bad design, obviously. Now what do we need to do? We need to look up in the posts folder, see what's there, and bunch them together. And actually that's what Codegen is for. We just need to create a file and call it Codegen. I will just switch the mode to JavaScript. And what we do in this file is we write a node module. Now this is inserted in our build process then when the bundler works. Now we can add a couple of things. Now what I do is I require fs and I want to read from the file system. Likewise, I also want to have path because it gives me resolve. Now what I get is all posts. Let's call them files, and that's from the when I read from the file system from the current directory. I go up, and posts is what I want to look at. Great. Now the real posts, they look a little bit different. They are actually the files, and we change them. We replace the TSX ending with nothing actually. So it's as simple as that. These are the posts. Then we get the routes of these posts. We map them again, and we can say that each post has a route that should start with block and then have the post identifier. Great. And then we have the pages that come up from these routes. Now here it gets really tricky. Let's iterate over them, and what we'll do is we want the code as the one that I've written, so that we use an import, and in the import we go up, we go to posts, and we just load the post. Great. And now we need to bring everything together. And what we return here is actually the module as it should be included in our frontend bundle. So remember, all that we've written here is executed on the server in our, for instance, CI/CD build pipeline. And now we need to give the module something that's integrated in our frontend bundle. So this one should export something. It should be named posts. It should of course work against React. Great. That's why we use React Lazy here. And then it uses a couple of things. Maybe it uses the posts, which is just a JSON stringification of the posts. And it should use routes. Same principle. And for the pages, it's a little bit different. So actually, we just want the pages to be joined with a comma, because these are all already these strings, and if we would JSON stringify them, we would get the string quotification, but we don't want them. This should be read as real code, so it's a little bit different. Now, what we do here, we write some code. We go for all the posts, get each post, and then we create a new object, and this object has an ID, which is the post. It also will have a route, which is the routes, the ith position, and it has a page, which is the page on the ith position. Now that's all I need to write. Frankly, this is a little bit of meta programming, so it's not directly visible, but it does all the heavy lifting. How can we use this? We use it as the require here. We can also, of course, in theory, use an import statement, but TypeScript would complain because this is not a valid TypeScript module, right? Let's first gift it out to the console, because we want to see if everything looks alright. What we get here is a hello world block hello world, so this is already great. All we need to do now is we need to change how we actually work against this thing. So what we need to do, we need to go over all the posts and use the ID as the key, the route as the URL, and yeah, let's use the ID here as 2. So far so good. Now also in here we have this block. We could just copy the one above here. So great, we go over all the posts, and in the end what we see is that instead of our li element we use the route, but it's same principle. So we have the post.route and we have the post.page. Nice. So that's it. Great. Now this hello world we don't need anymore. Let's save it. Let's go in here. Seems to work. But to see if it really works, we need to add another blog post. And just copy this. Another post. It also has paragraphs. Nice. Let's save it. Well, this thing doesn't know yet that we added a new file, so let's just make a simple trick. And let's reevaluate the node module, but we see another post, it's there. Hello world, it's also there. It just works. And that's how we can really create a simple block where we only have to touch one file, namely the blog post we create, and it just works. And that's how we can use a CodeGen module to really place the binding code for us. Thanks for watching. See you next time.